Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Star Trek V, The Final Frontier by William Shatner, starring him, Leonard Nimoy, and the rest of the legendary Star Trek cast. It's been about 2 weeks since we've reviewed part 4 on the channel, The Voyage Home, and that movie was quite a pleasant surprise. It was different to its predecessors. Whales and time travel. Like I said, vastly different, but also very enjoyable. Nimoy directed the past two, I believe, and his directing it's been growing on me. And I'm really interested in seeing what Shatner can bring to the table in the director's seat with his massive ego, which was like super famous at the time. Since the last review, the comments have warned me not to expect too much from this film, and a lot of people thought that this might be the weakest link in the 6 movies of this series. That's what I'm here to find out, because from parts 1 to 4, none of them have been bad movies. The first one, the motion picture film, it was a little weak, a little pretentious, a little slow, but still, I wouldn't call it a bad movie. I have no idea what to expect plot-wise from this one, and I'm going in completely blind, so I'm excited. Oh, if you guys are unaware, I'm making my way through the entire Star Trek franchise, just like I did with Bond or Rocky or Lord of the Rings. I'll leave you a link up there to a playlist to the first 4 Star Trek films. Please check them out when you have the time. I'll also hopefully be reviewing the next generation films too. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this movie and over 220 movies, 2 TV shows, early access, and weekly posts for what to watch next. You need your own copy to watch along. The links in the description below. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications to check out my other videos. Like if you like this video, feel free to dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, Shatner, Nimoy. Let's go. Nimbus 3 in the neutral zone. Okay, I didn't know there was a neutral zone. The planet of galactic peace. Oh, okay. So this is the planet where many civilizations meet, and it's considered a neutral zone. What is this dude doing? Boring holes? Searching for water?
I thought weapons were forbidden on this planet.
That's a pipe. Barely a weapon, my man.
I can't believe you'd kill me.
Does he have some sort of power?
Your pain runs deep. Each man hides a secret pain. It must be dragged from the darkness and forced into the light.
Are they setting up an antagonist?
Share your pain with me and gain strength from the share.
Sounds like a confession of sorts.
As if a weight has been lifted from my heart. How can I repay you for this miracle?
Join my quest.
What is it you seek?
To find it, you'll need a starship.
He wants a starship for his quest, and apparently he has a plan.
Have faith, my friend.
He's a Vulcan! I still can't tell whether he's a good or bad guy because we haven't met a bad Vulcan yet, but he does seem to have an evil laugh. Oh, and that was a cold open. Interesting. I wonder whether Gene Roddenberry was involved in this too. Oh, the music. And we have the rest of the legendary cast, of course. I wonder how much continuity there is. Cybok. That's a painting, by the way. You can tell. Ooh, we're on Earth, Yosemite National Park. Okay, Gene Roddenberry is an executive consultant, so he wasn't like super involved. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. Holy crap, he's back. I think he did the first one, the motion picture. I'm excited about the soundtrack now. The score. Who is this? Kirk? It is Kirk. Dude, you're in your 50s now, probably, right? Yeah. That's really dangerous for you. You're no Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is crazy. Doing his own stunts.
You'll enjoy your shore leave. you'll be able to relax.
Oh, they're on leave. Okay. Yeah, this scene kind of reminds me of the opening scene from Mission Impossible 2 where Tom Cruise is also climbing some mountain.
What are you doing in this neck of the woods?
I have been monitoring your progress.
I'm flattered. 1,200 points of interest in Yosemite, and you pick me. I'm not trying to break any records.
Nice.
I'm doing this because I enjoy it.
God damn irresponsible. Playing games with life.
He was doing so well till Spock showed up. Okay, so they're on vacation, and something's happening on Nimbus 3, and they'll be called to action.
Our new Romulan representative.
Romulans.
Welcome to Paradise City, my dear.
I don't know too much about Romulans.
I expect that's Klingon for hello.
I'm guessing they're being attacked by that Vulcan we met at the beginning of the film. Yep, it is him. Actually, I think I'm getting it now. Attacking a neutral planet will get the attention of all three governments.
I don't know who you are or what you want. Our governments will stop at nothing to ensure our safety.
That's exactly what I'm counting on.
I think this new ship was put
Scotty's
together by
voice.
monkeys.
And the new Enterprise! And Uhura.
You're the most understanding woman I know.
Red alert.
From Nimbus 3.
Admit it, we're lost.
All right, we're lost. But we're making good time. We've been caught in a blizzard.
And we can't see a thing.
Sunny skies and 70 degrees.
Sulu, look. The sun's come out. It's a miracle.
Don't worry, fellas. Your secret's safe with me.
I'm half human. Well, it certainly doesn't show. Thank you.
How do you like that? This guy never changes. I insult him and he takes it as a compliment. Human life is far too precious to risk on crazy stunts.
I knew I wouldn't die because the two of you were with me.
I do not understand.
I'll die alone.
If his friends are there, he doesn't have any fear of dying.
I haven't sung around a campfire since I was a boy in Iowa. What are we going to sing?
Row, row, row your boat.
Row, row, row your boat. I love row. Do you know row, 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 row?
I mean, Shatner is spending a lot of time setting up the story, which I don't think he really needs because the characters are very well established.
It's a song, you green-blooded Vulcan. You sing it. The words aren't important.
We'll be having a good time.
God, I liked him better before he died.
All right. Let's go.
Yep, there is continuity. They're acknowledging that he died and came back.
Good night, Spock.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Spock.
Good night, Jim.
Are they intentionally trying to be funny here? I mean, the filmmakers, not the characters. Because they are in... Dude, that's Voyager! I know that plaque. It's either Voyager 1 or Voyager 2. That satellite. Recently, one of the Voyagers left our solar system. Dude, don't destroy Voyager! I don't like that. The good news is the real Voyager, it's still on its way.
Nimbus wedge, marosh! Hanging up!
This dude looks a little trigger happy.
Mr. Scott apologizes for having to send the shuttlecraft. Captain, we've received important orders from Starfleet Command.
Well, gentlemen, it appears shore leave has been canceled. Pack out your trash.
Jerry Goldsmith's score. The first Star Trek film I've seen was the one from 1979, and it's 1989 now, and you can actually see the crew get visibly older, like all of them, except Shatner, who probably had a bunch of plastic surgery. Yeah.
Doesn't anything work on this ship?
I noticed how the ship wasn't in the best condition. They're setting up the Enterprise to be a little weak in this film. It's not at 100%. That'll come into play later, I'm sure.
I'm afraid the ship's problems will have to be solved en route.
I think this is a terrible idea. We're bound to bump into the Klingons. And they don't exactly like you.
You do have history.
Feelings mutual.
Come to think of it, it's been about 30 minutes since the movie started and nothing of significance happened yet.
Their leader assures us that we will be treated humanely so long as you cooperate with his demands. I believe his sincerity.
I have no desire to harm these innocents, but do not put me to the test.
Well, that's another Vulcan. It looks like Spock recognizes him.
He reminds me of someone I knew in my youth. The knowledge and experience he sought were forbidden by Vulcan belief. He believed the key to self-knowledge was emotion.
You know so much but not his name or how you know him? It's either that or Spock isn't telling the whole truth.
Spock. Approaching Nimbus 3.
Oh, they're already here. Huh.
I recommend we land at coordinates 8563.
That puts us pretty far away from Paradise City.
So they're physically landing.
I advise you to release your hostages at once or suffer the consequences.
So far, the visual effects have been a little inconsistent. When the ship was flying in, it was really bad, but the actual physical prop is well made, so there's a discrepancy between them.
Who are you?
Lasers on stun!
Do you realize what you've done? It wasn't bloodshed I wanted!
Wait! Come back!
It's been about 40 minutes since the movie started, and we still don't know what does this Vulcan want. He wants a starship, but why? Still, I'm sorry, it's hard to take it a little seriously here. What is that?
Please cooperate.
Wait, what? Whoa. Okay, this movie finally took a turn. The hostages are with the Vulcan now. I mean, he does have the ability to take away pain. Is that what he did to the hostages? To get them to come to his side? I think so.
Spock! It's me. It's Sybok.
Ah, this is Sybok from the credits.
After all these years, you finally caught up with me. I intend to steal something.
The Enterprise.
You staged all this to get your hands on my ship?
He did.
But I thought Captain Chekhov. I see.
Can't help but smile every time we see that Enterprise on screen. Because some of the interiors look pretty new. And the actual ship with the green color looks pretty familiar to the old Bird of Prey.
Cord, you tell him.
He speaks the truth. If my people are cloaked, then they intend to strike.
Enterprise.
I liked how Sulu looked at Kirk. It was like an unspoken conversation. And this is what I mean when I say the chemistry between these actors are amazing.
Actually, it's my first attempt.
He's good.
Really?
But again, please keep in mind, all this could be avoided if the Federation sent a couple of more starships. Close one.
Warp speed now.
It's no use, my man. Vulcans have superior strength.
You must kill me.
Shoot him!
His half-human side. He's compromised.
For a moment, I thought you might actually do it. You will accompany me to the bridge?
I will not.
Oh man, is he going to mind meld them into joining him?
I ordered you to defend your ship.
You ordered me to kill my brother. Sybok also is a son of Sarek.
Oh, it's his brother?
Sybok's mother was a Vulcan princess. Upon her death, Sybok and I were raised as brothers.
Why didn't you tell us this before?
Exactly.
I was not disposed to discuss matters of a personal nature.
It is the captain.
It's all right, Pavel. Sybok will explain everything.
Yeah. They look like they've been mind melded.
Now that we're underway, it's time I announced my intentions to the rest of the ship.
Finally, we're 1 hour in.
Modern dogma tells us this place is a myth. It is no fantasy, I tell you. I tell you. The discovery of Shakari.
Shakari?
Which lies beyond the Great Barrier.
At the center of the galaxy.
There's a supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy.
The center of the galaxy can't be reached. Request emergency assistance. Acknowledge.
Understood, Enterprise. We are dispatching a rescue ship
Oh
immediately.
no, he just gave the coordinates away to the Klingon.
The people of your planet once believed their world was flat. Columbus proved. I want your respect. Are you afraid to hear me out?
I'm afraid of nothing.
Oh, hit him where it hurts. His ego.
Still, every culture in existence shares this common dream of a place from which creation sprang.
He's seeking the place where creation started.
By making you face your pain and draw strength from it.
His father?
Father?
Yeah, he exploits the deepest fear.
The pain. Stop the pain. Release me.
I can't do that, Shan.
That's actually pretty heavy. He actually did it. I like the fact that Jerry Goldsmith isn't using any music in this scene. Gives it a little more agency.
That wasn't the worst of it.
No.
Was it? No! Share it.
Not long after, they found a cure.
They found a cure. No wonder he feels guilty.
This pain has poisoned your soul for a long time.
Oh, look at his little pointy ears.
Sarek, your son.
Oh, look at Sarek. He's young.
So human.
He's disappointed. Oh. I just got that. Spock feels rejected by his father because he's too human.
They're the things we carry with us, the things that make us who we are. If we lose them, we lose ourselves.
Our experiences are what makes us human.
I belong here.
Oh, it didn't work on Spock.
I don't understand. I am not the outcast boy you left behind those many years ago. Since that time, I have found myself, and I cannot go with you.
Haha, look at Jim being all proud.
He waits for us on the other side.
Like an actual entity?
You are mad.
Am I?
Okay. The visual effects, they're a little hit and miss. They're crossing the barrier, but they found the planet. That's something.
About the ship.
The ship needs its captain.
No special conditions?
No conditions.
Cybok, Spock, Dr. McCoy, come with me. The rest of you remain on board.
The music shifted from adventurous to a little darker now. Almost inquisitive.
I am no longer in control of the craft.
This is a nice shot. And I also like the shuttle being called Copernicus. Come to think of it, I don't think they visited too many locations in this movie. I already have a theory of how this film will end. But if I say it, will it ruin the experience? I don't know. I'll just keep it in my mind.
Perhaps.
No, they've traveled here for a reason, and I'm sure it'll manifest itself. Where's the sky, for that matter? Are they underground? If they are, where's the light coming from?
Is this the voice of God?
One voice, many faces. Does this better suit your expectations?
An old man with a beard? How stereotypical.
And how did you breach the barrier?
With a starship.
Then I shall make use of this starship.
Oh man.
It will be your chariot!
This god wants the starship.
Excuse me. What does God need with a starship?
Oh, asking the real questions.
Who is this creature?
Who am I? Don't you know? Aren't you God?
He... Thunder from its eyes. And it didn't kill him.
What does God need with a starship?
It's a false god. And it already reminds me a little of The Wizard of Oz.
Eternity I've been imprisoned in this place.
it's going to try to use the ship to escape this prison.
No! It's not possible.
He's realizing the truth.
Bring me the ship or I will destroy you.
I couldn't help but notice your pain.
My pain?
It runs deep. Share it with me.
He's going to try and mind meld with this creature. This might also be the first Star Trek film I've seen where the Enterprise, the ship itself, is not a character. The ship is like pretty much broken here.
You are alive for a single reason. The renegade James T. Kirk.
What about your own man?
Captain Kirk is on the planet below.
Then give me his coordinates.
Is it destroyed? Spock came through, didn't he? He negotiated some sort of peace or agreement or something.
Release him!
There you go.
Kirk!
They listened to the general.
I apologize.
A formal apology.
May I present our new gunner?
Good Spock.
Thought I was going to die.
Not possible. You were never alone.
Oh, this scene is almost romantic. Not in a bad way, though. If they were to kiss right now, I wouldn't be surprised.
Not in front of the
At
Klingons.
least not in front of the Klingons. They're leaving together.
Maybe he's not out there, boss.
Maybe he's in here all along.
Maybe he's right here.
Oh, come on, man. That was cliche as heck.
I've lost a brother.
Right, he did. Oh, they're back on their leave. Okay, this movie, kind of like a one-off adventure. The music suggests that we're near the end. And we are. This film definitely had its issues. It was enjoyable, it did have some strengths, which we'll talk about, but a lot more weaknesses, which we'll also talk about. One thing I can't complain about at all is the chemistry between the main characters. I can't wait for the next one, but we'll talk about this first. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. That was an okay movie. More of a mixed bag with some good, but mostly it felt all over the place. This was indeed the weakest Star Trek film I've seen so far. I'd say the strengths included the actual premise, the searching for the origin of existence, the chemistry between the cast, the humor, and the score by Jerry Goldsmith. But, and this is a big but, there were clearly a lot of weaknesses, starting with the execution of this premise, the fact that the story doesn't really progress till the middle of the second act almost. Nothing happens in the first 30 minutes. The performances were from the secondary cast, they weren't very impressive, they felt dry. The poor visual effects, and unfortunately the directing from William Shatner. Let's start with that and the script by him, Harv Bennett, and David Laurie. Please correct me if my pronunciation is wrong. Let me just say the actual premise, the search for God and finding that it's all false, that was interesting. I wanted to see more of that. Just like I just said, it kind of reminded me of The Wizard of Oz, where Dorothy and the gang travel to a magical city to find a mysterious wizard who turns out to be a fraud. Just like The Wizard of Oz, this movie was mostly about the journey itself and not the destination. The issue here is the journey part of the movie was not that amazing. Nothing happens in the first act. In fact, we spent almost 30 minutes on Earth as the crew are camping while on leave. I thought dedicating so much time to that was not necessary, especially for such established characters. We don't even get to find out the motivations of Cyborg, Spock's half-brother, till we get to this magical planet. I think introducing the idea of finding God earlier in the movie would have kept me more interested in the plot, since they were already dealing with such a serious matter in the beginning of existence. They should have dedicated way more time to exploring that, if that makes any sense. This brings me to the directing by Shatner. There were too many cop-outs in the film. For example, why did Starfleet send a broken Enterprise on such a such an important mission? The movie tries to answer that by saying that Kirk is like very experienced. They need him. They can't do it without him. Fine, I buy that. But why not send a second ship? Or is Starship running out of ships? Like, what's the deal there? Why not at least one more ship with a working transporter? Speaking of the Enterprise, this was a low point for our beloved ship. And this is the first time the Enterprise did not feel like a character in the movie. It was just there, broken and useless. That was very disappointing to see. Shatner also introduced Romulans for the first time, I believe, in the movies, but we only get to meet one of them, and none of their cultures that were explored or even talked about. What was the point of that? Introducing an entire species and not giving them any screen time. What was he thinking? Just to use the Romulans, that one Romulan, as a hostage? Is that good storytelling? Anyways, let's talk about some of the actual positives of the film, starting with the premise itself. The search for God. That could have been a central focus of the script. That had me hooked. It's an extremely fascinating idea, which I wish they would have explored more. The humor was also a little out of place, but it did work for the most part, the visual gags and stuff. I did feel like it was a little misplaced in a more serious movie like this, but I was laughing throughout, so make of that what you will. The performances from the main cast, they were excellent as usual. Kirk was Kirk, Spock was Spock, Bones, everybody. The main core cast was great. And their chemistry was on point too, so no complaints there. But the secondary cast, I don't know, the main villain, I didn't think their performances were very strong. Their dialogue was a little wooden, and even their delivery was a little dry, in my opinion. So there's that. Moving on to the production end, which was mostly okay with a couple of exceptions, like the uneven visual effect shots. Some scenes, like the taking off and landing of the shuttles, they were pretty good. The compositing work with the backgrounds and the ships moving in the foreground, that was also decent. But the entire magic planet with its swirling gas-like imagery and the entity itself, it was unimpressive. This sort of effects, they've been done time and time again by 1989. So I didn't think it had the effect that the filmmakers were going for. The big highlight of the film for me was Jerry Goldsmith's score, though, which sounded absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad he was back. I don't think there's too much to say here because the dude was clearly a genius, and his musical cues in this movie, they were excellent, on point. I love Jerry Goldsmith's work. As I've talked about my criticisms extensively here, overall, Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, was indeed the weakest film in the series so far. Filled with ambition and promise, William Shatner unfortunately failed to deliver a satisfying continuation to this amazing franchise. The film did have its redeeming qualities, like the chemistry between the main actors, the humor, and the score, but ultimately the weaknesses outweigh the strengths by a considerable margin. The good news is that I did laugh a lot, and the film was entertaining if I would have shut off my brain, but I cannot do that for a Star Trek film, for a science fiction film. I expect more. Hopefully we'll get some redemption with Part 6, The Undiscovered Country. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel, please. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video. Dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one.